utterly and completely wrong about this is an attempt to take our support, our love, our tributes, our desire to step up and help our military and use it to help promote hate. Use it to knock someone else's something else down. You're trying to take this beautiful, pure thing, which is saying, hey, these people are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice on our behalf. They're willing to lay their lives down so that we may enjoy our freedoms. It's taking something as beautiful and pure as the support of our military and twisting it into something to knock someone else down. Not only is that ridiculous, not only is that just utterly, it's a kindergartner's level of mentality that is responsible for this. Not only is it simple and base and cruel and crass and unnecessary, but all those people trumpeting on about how they support the military and how much they love the military and how much they're real heroes, that's great. But when you throw, I don't love Caitlyn Jenner, I don't support Caitlyn Jenner, I support the military into the mix, when you put those two things next to each other and when you use your supposed love of the military to knock something or someone else down, you know what you're doing? You're not only proving yourself to be an unmitigated idiot, you are proving that your love for the military, whatever you want to call it, it's cheap. It cheapens the genuine support and love and respect that we have for the fighting men and women of America. And it's absolute crap. So if you are in any way, shape, or form tempted to put those two things next to each other, to say, these people are heroes, that person is not a hero, they have nothing to do with each other. Nothing to do with each other. And if you really have respect for our military, if you really want to support our military, you will keep those two things completely separated when talking about either of them and writing about either of them. And just, if you're doing it, just stop. You're an idiot, and what you're really doing is insulting the military. Alrighty then, Funkhauser. Maybe I had a little bit too much coffee before starting the show today. I don't know. I do know this, though. There's one candidate in the political field who's going to be taking a stab at presidency 2016 that is, I consider them to be, and note the clever play on words in this particular situation, I consider them to be a running gag. And we'll get into who that is and why we feel that way after we go through the events of today in our segment, My Witness News, in no way, shape, or form fair. Certainly not balanced. If you want to join in the conversation, tweet me at ADSXE and tweet producer Funkhauser, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser at Funk FM. Funkhauser, how are you?
That is all correct. I am good. What is going on in the world? A lot of stuff. Do you know about that?
Well, first, how are you? I understand there were free donuts there today.
Oh, yeah. You know, the donut fairy comes here once a week. Usually it's Tuesdays. Donut Tuesday. But what's today? Wednesday? It's Hump Day Donut Wednesday. So I'm fat and full on donuts here, provided by Premier Networks.
What did you have? Describe it slowly.
I just had sultry, soft, sticky, glazed round. I like to keep it old school.
Oh, yeah.
OG.
Something about the simplicity of it is incredible. I had the best apple fritter I've ever had in my life from a donut place the other day. I couldn't
fritter, huh?
Yeah, well, sort of like a twist. It's like a cinnamon twist with bits of apple in it, and there was just something about it where the inside of it was so light and fluffy, not airy, not a Krispy Kreme airy sort of thing where you're like, what am I actually eating? It feels like I'm biting into something that's mostly air. It's not airy. It was like just light, perfectly fluffy. And then the outside was, with the glaze on it, it was almost crispy. There was almost like, especially the edges, like the very end, where the icing ends, sometimes gets a little bit toasted up. And so you have this like perfect crunch of glaze. And it's, oh, God. It's perfect crunch of glaze combined with this light, fluffy inside to the apple fritter that when you eat it, it's just the amount of light and fluffy so that it absorbs the coffee. When you dunk it into it, it like holds the coffee like a sponge, a perfectly proportioned coffee sponge. Yet, even though you dunked it, the outside remains that little bit crispy and flaky, and it's just awesome. Next time you're in town, I'll take you for one, because I was just like, do you ever do this? You ever wake up on a Saturday or Sunday and be like, what am I hungry for? And then you decide what you're hungry for, and then you just Google or Yelp best whatever.
I do that now
burger.
after you said that on the air. Like, that's the first thing I go.
Yeah, it's like you figure out what you're hungry for, and then you use Yelp or Google or something like that to find the best example of it within a 10-mile radius.
Yeah, best donuts. I did that one morning, and it took me to some hole in the wall in East L.A. called Donut Friend.
Uh-huh.
Those are the donuts.
The Donut Friend.
Donut Friend, yeah. I tweeted those pictures. That's the donut from Donut Friend.
Oh, I've been like, honestly, sometimes I go back and look at those pictures if they're the ones I'm thinking of. Like, this is a couple weeks ago, and sometimes when I'm like just in need of a little food porn in the office, I'll go over to Funkhauser's Facebook page. I'll look at these donuts. Are those the ones with like the berries on top that are sort of like this pink glaze with berries on top? Those look incredible.
And at Donut Friend, all of their donuts are named after like indie rock bands.
Really?
So there was one called the White Stripes. And it had white chocolate stripes on it, on a little glazed round. Ooh.
I'm so hungry now. Was Donut Friend good?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, they looked incredible.
But I Googled best donuts, and it popped up.
Do you think they lived up to the hype of being the best?
They are my donut friend. Not a sponsor.
Right. Excellent. Alrighty then. Well... Let's oh God, I can't concentrate on anything now. I just want donuts. Let's go. Let's knock it out. News.
Caitlyn Jenner says Kris Jenner was abusive during their marriage.
Wow. Of all the people to call someone out for being a ball breaker. I think, though, I wonder what form this abuse took. I wonder if it was verbal abuse, because I could understand that. Like the way the Kardashians appear to talk to her, one another, being the awful human beings that they are. If you're sort of like a normal human being, a lot of that could come across as verbal abuse. But that's kind of like the way they talk. It's I wonder what form the abuse took. I would imagine it being Kris Jenner just getting naked in front of him would constitute abuse. Go on.
The mansion from Mean Girls. Is on the market for $14 million.
Wow. If you can't afford it, but you still want to own something from Mean Girls, I think that Lindsay Lohan can be had for about $20 and some crushed up Ritalin. Yeah, for $20 and some crushed up Ritalin, Lindsay Lohan will lick the dirt out of the grout on your bathroom floor. So there's always that if you can't afford the $14 million Mean Girls mansion. Go on.
Yeah, here she's got a Google alert for that. Crushed up Ritalin.
Are we now all picturing Lindsay Lohan licking grout on a bathroom floor?
Licking grout. That sounds so dirty.
Yeah, it's not, though. I mean, no, I guess.
Literally.
It is. Yeah.
One more. Enrique Iglesias injured his hand when he grabbed a drone during his concert in Mexico.
He was so hardcore with it. It was like seeing Gigi Allen or something like that. He sliced his hand open. He was wearing a white T-shirt, and in blood, he drew a heart on himself. Look, if the only wound you come out of Mexico with is a finger cut, you're doing okay.
USA Headline News. I'm Kelly Sloan. The FBI says they will investigate the fatal shooting of a man who had been under surveillance by terrorism investigators. Police say Usama Rahim was shot after he lunged at a Boston police officer and an FBI agent with a knife when they tried to question him. Boston Police Commissioner William Evans says the officers did not have their guns out when they confronted the man.
And they kept retreating, verbally giving commands to drop the weapon. And at some point, the individual proximity came close that the officers were in danger. Their lives were in danger when two officers discharged their weapons.
The Council of American Islamic Relations warns that they will monitor the investigation. Congress has sent legislation to the president to revive temporarily government surveillance program 2 days after letting it expire. The House has already passed the bill, and President Obama plans to sign it quickly. This is USA Headline News.
Everyone knows the proper way to start your day is with a long, hot, luxurious shower. That's why we've created ProperSoap.com. We're called Proper because we're properly pure and natural, with no parabens, dyes, or harsh chemicals. 100% pure vegetable soap. We use rich shea butter and olive oil to moisturize naturally. And best of all, we think it's proper to give back. So when you shop ProperSoap.com, you're funding clean water and sanitation programs in villages across the globe. Shop ProperSoap.com and get proper.
For the first time, America's behavior expert Scott Farrell is offering you the Marriage Matrix. The system used for years to help save marriages is now available to you. The Marriage Matrix can save you expense, personal embarrassment, and maybe even save your marriage.
I'm America's behavior expert Scott Farrell. If you really want a shot at saving your marriage, get the Marriage Matrix today, and together, let's do this.
Call now, 844-HELP-US-0. That's 844-HELP-US-0. Or visit ismymarriageworthit.com.
In soccer, FIFA President Sepp Blatter announced his resignation just days after being reelected for a fifth term. ABC News reports that the FBI and U.S. prosecutors are investigating Blatter in connection with the corruption scandal going on involving several FIFA top executives who have already been arrested. In the NBA, Golden State Warriors guard Klay Thompson's been officially cleared to play in Game 1 of the NBA Finals coming up on Thursday, having recovered from a concussion he received last week. In baseball, Dodgers and Rockies played a doubleheader in Denver. Rockies win Game 1 6-3, but the Dodgers come back in the second game.
Fly ball center field. That's hit pretty well. Going back in center is Blackman. Looks up, and it is gone. A grand slam home run. Alex Guerrero.
AM 570 LA Sports on the call. Alex Guerrero hits a grand slam with 2 out in the ninth inning. Dodgers beat the Rockies 9-8. The Blue Jays and Nationals split a doubleheader. Nationals win Game 1 2-0. Blue Jays win the second game 7-3. I'm Eddie Garcia.
We are Baltimore.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
The Rolling Stones are back on top with the #1 album in the U.S. and the U.K. and a #1 single, Angie.
Come on, baby.
Let's Get It On is a #1 single and a #2 album for Marvin Gaye. Also in August of '73, Stevie Wonder is back with the #4 album, Inner Visions. And Florida band Leonard Skinner released their debut album, had a top 20 hit with Freebird, and tour opening for The Who. Fast forward to October, where on their 8th album, the Steve Miller Band debut a smooth blues rock sound and scored a #1 hit with The Joker.
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I sure don't want to hurt no
one. Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Mike Rutherford to discuss that even though there were generational difficulties, his father was always quite supportive.
You know, you've got to understand, I'm sure it's the same over here, but in the UK, in England, you know, that generational change from my father's era to my era, you know, he was the English Empire days, 2 world wars. It was hard to communicate. There was a big divide between us. It's just, there was no dialogue really. You couldn't discuss things because there was no sort of platform to share conversations on. But no, he was supportive, and in a way, you know, given that he hadn't got a clue what I was doing, you know, what parent did in those days, you know, music, long hair and a guitar, he was given that. He was very supportive.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Mike Rutherford and all your favorite artists.
Go ahead, favorite the show, and enjoy AD on the go. iHeartRadio presents AD.
All right, then, Funkhauser, I got a lot to say about the piss poor potential presidential field that we are faced with in 2016. So let's roll through some more news and we'll get into that. What else is going on in the world?
I just like Googling the word santorum. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, you knew who we were talking about. Okay.
So he's also running for president too?
Yeah, you say
just like
piss
Googling
poor
the
and
word.
automatically people associate it with Santorum. Go on.
Tom Hanks' aspiring rapper son, Chet Hayes, defended his right to use the N-word.
Right. Of course, in his case, the N-word refers to nepotism, I'm guessing. Oh, wait, it doesn't? Oh, no, he shouldn't be using that word.
Is no talent one word?
No, yes, no.